Get this to 5,000 likes, my people. Breaking news, VYBZ KARTEL Lizard case recalled in court. We have something for play for you. Don't go now, everybody. You need to stay tuned. Share the video. Subscribe. Listen to this.
Yo, Cartel, you need to come off of the internet, bro. Nobody no want your advice. Cause nobody no want know how to friend. Nobody no want know how to blood clot rob Trinidad money. Nobody no want to know how to sell out them people. Nobody no depend on that, bro. You see me? Because at the end of the day, the people in Jamaica need help. Them need some soup kitchen for feed that poor people them. Them need some institution for dancing and singing and blocking. Yo, brother, we don't care when no man have wrong so. We care what the man do. We deal with people character. So for you to come on internet and come go on like you about them, you didn't give a fuck about life.
Judges today broke news that basically there was an error in the court. And based on what the article is saying, which I'm going to share the headlines for you right now, the Justice Chief is saying, and they're urging the court to improve the efficiency which VYBZ KARTEL case was handled, cites that VYBZ KARTEL's case was a blunder. VYBZ KARTEL should have been in prison, is what they're saying. He should be paying for Lizard's murder, according to the Chief Justice. But there was inefficiency and there were many blunders. The judges is saying that, listen, Lizard's family did what they did, which is the deceased family. The police did what they did in the case, but the courts blundered and ultimately led to VYBZ KARTEL's release from prison. But they are strongly believing that this inefficiency should be blamed on the court and the lack of certain situations that are taking place is a learning experience. Now, is it fair to say now that they're saying that it was because of an error that caused VYBZ KARTEL to walk? This is huge news. This is signs of regret from the Jamaican justice system on the many errors within the court system, within the Court of Appeal, and the retrial aspect, because they're pointing out the errors that were made, that if the courts were operating in an efficient manner, VYBZ KARTEL would have been retried and 100% sent back to prison. Multiple sources confirm, Arre FM, and of course, the Jamaica Observer. Justice Sykes takes the information and he now says that there were major blunders and inefficiencies in the court's fault and the reason for his freedom. Let's continue, okay? Now, let's get on the way. Chief Justice Brian Sykes had urged the country's court to improve the efficiency which cases are handled to avoid repeat of the administrative blunder that resulted in the murder conviction of entertainer VYBZ KARTEL and the 3 men being overturned. The court says that it is their mistake, not innocence. Not that because he was an innocent man, not because he committed the crime. They're saying ultimately it was their mistake which led to VYBZ KARTEL, Sean Storm, and Madsus walking free. But if there were no errors and no mistakes, they would be locked up and VYBZ KARTEL would have to spend the 25 years or 30 in prison. Okay? Okay. Now let's continue. Let me go back over that for you, Jamaica, because this is big news. The courts are admitting to errors that they made. It is not an error of evidence. If everything that this judge is saying, according to what is being said, they're saying that indeed VYBZ KARTEL was rightfully arrested, rightfully convicted, and rightfully sentenced. And they're saying that indeed he did commit the dropping of Clive Lizard Williams. But technicalities and errors were the reason for their case to be overturned. Mighty God of Daniel. Wow. Now, Mr. Sykes pointed out that there were jury irregularities in the first trial, which led to the Privy Council rule last year. If there were no jury errors, according to what Justice Sykes is saying, and I'm assuming he's talking about the alleged bribe, VYBZ Kartel's case to the Privy Council would not have made it that far. They should have dealt with this matter and nip it by the bud. Blame the DPP. She decided to press gas with the error, according to Mr. Sykes, from the initial stage of Livingston Kane. Who remember Livingston Kane? Remember, no, me I say, so everything what me I say to will be provided on the screen. 5,000 likes on this video, my people. I know me say so. Let us continue. Now, the irregularities from the jury, which led to the Privy Council to rule last year that the matter was sent back to the Jamaican Court of Appeal. The court determined that there should be no retrial, thereby setting Kartel, who's giving name Adidja Palmer, and his former co-convicts free. Speaking with the Judiciary Strategic Management Retreat, Justice Sykes noted that the internal inefficiencies can affect justice adversely. So they're saying that these inefficiencies and irregularities, justice was not served on Kartel, because Kartel justice should have been in prison behind bars for the rest of his life. That is what is being said. Now, he noted that while VYBZ Kartel and his co-defendants are happy, the victim's family believes that the justice system has failed them. Who is the victim's family? Clive Lizard Williams. Clive Lizard Williams. The judge is saying ultimately that the family of Lizard believes that the system failed them. This man is 100% telling you that it is the court's fault in Jamaica and that they believe that justice was not served because Kartel should have stayed in a prison. And again, I know me say so. Now, Judge Sykes says because of delays, some convicts received reduced sentences. He said in some cases this may undermine public trust and confidence. That's what he says. Okay? And these inefficiencies, he says, ultimately is what had the men, which is VYBZ Kartel and Shanstam case, overturned. Now, he was addressing the 6th Judiciary Strategic Management Retreat. Sykes argued that the judicial officers have ultimately the greatest impact on performance of courts. He pointed out that there is an increasing recognition and the efficiency of the courts is not so much tied to the amount of resources in the system as it is the performance and the behavior of the judicial officers. As such, the Chief Justice urged participants to utilize the planning session to think deeply about these things and how we are going to improve our efficiency for the sake of the numbers, but also for the service delivery, and so that persons can predict with reasonable accuracy how long the matter will take and consequently how much money they have to expend. VYBZ Kartel is guilty according to what is being said here. Based on what I am seeing, they're saying that it wasn't innocence that had him free. No, it wasn't the fact that he didn't commit the murder. No. It wasn't the fact that they believe, or he, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that he should have been a free man. No, they're saying the court is to be blamed. Them cause it. The blunders, the mistakes, the backlogs, the situations that should have been dealt with from the very beginning, which indeed that VYBZ Kartel wouldn't have stood a chance to walk free. Learn from it is what he says. Like and share the video. That is it, my people. Gratitude Thursdays continues.